Welcome back for another OG Show Live. Mr. Randall, how you doing?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Reel Down.
Welcome back to another episode of Bass Fishing for News.
Hi, boys and girls. Welcome to once again the Bass Kayak Fishing Team.
Brother, this is the final cast.
Another segment of Chasing the Tide, your saltwater connection on the Paddlesports.
Welcome back, everyone. Another episode of Feather and Fur. Your host, Brad.
Welcome back to the Mindset Podcast. I'm your host, Crystal.
Hey, welcome back to Off the Water.
Susie Q here with Adventures of Outdoor Woman podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to the Rusty Hook Kayak Fishing Podcast.
We're brought to you by Pelican, built tough for all situations. Go to pelican.com. Eastport Marina on the beautiful shores of Dale Hollow Lake. For all your lodging, kayaking, go to eastport.info. Yak Gadget for all your fine kayak fishing accessory needs. Go to yakgadget.com.
What's up, everybody? And for the last time in 2022, welcome to The Reel Down. I am sad and excited to say that all at the same time. We hate to not be recording the rest of the year, but at the same time we don't, because it'd be a nice break.
Always take a Christmas break, you know.
Yeah. It's like we're kids again. But what's up, Dan? How you doing?
Good, man. Just got some stuff in from Tackle Warehouse I'm sitting here playing with. So
What you got?
I'll put it. Just some like owner Neds, owner wacky jig heads, top shelf swim baits. That's it. Nothing crazy.
Cool. Nice, man.
Yeah.
I ain't bought any tackle in a minute.
I'm starting to fill back up. Yesterday I sold my old trailer, so I'm finally able to get the new trailer in the garage. Things are good. So got that money for tournament entry next year. I'm ready to go.
There you go. I haven't even
and your tournament next weekend. If you haven't signed up,
2 weeks.
Sign. Yeah, there's only 3 of us right now. I know there's
I've probably had 50 people message me, so
yeah.
They're just like probably. If I was to say we'd have 40 people, probably almost all of them are Bass Nation members from other states that missed qualification.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of folks from Tennessee and Mississippi message me. So
it's your last chance qualifying next weekend on Pickwick.
That's right. The 17th will be a real quick, straightforward event. Get you your chance to fish on Chick for the championship. And then we'll see what happens from there. But yeah.
Should be good. Like still, you know, I think we're supposed to get some rain this week.
Oh yeah. Wait, like 3 inches of rain this week.
Yeah.
We're in a weird warming trend that's supposed to last another, I think, 10 days. And then the cold weather will come in, or cooler weather, and then a huge cold front. So it'll be kind of crazy to see. But maybe there'll actually be some water in Pickwick for everybody to fish.
Yeah.
Because I drove over Wheeler playing last week, and there's like, I've seen Wheeler without water, but there were places that I've not seen the bottom of before that were like 2 foot out of the water. So it's nice and drawn down right now.
Yeah.
Well, it should be fun. Maybe I'll get got a new boat set up sitting out there. I still haven't got wet. I found all my rods outside my rod box. I definitely thought I'd brought all my rods in. So now I got to go through, change all my line. My stuff's just been scattered everywhere. I ain't even been looking at it, man.
Yeah.
Well, we got another cool show tonight. This one's I would say a little bit different. It's kind of a lot different from anything I think we've covered. I don't think we've ever covered this event, and I know very, very little about it.
Yeah.
Not only this year, just the event in general. So, Dan, I don't even know what the actual name of it is. Do you know?
Heck, I
couldn't find, like, for real, any info other than the little bit you sent me that I forgot to email to myself. Dadgummit.
It's a USA Kayak Fishing Team. They went down to Mexico. So a couple of weeks ago, Mike Elsey, who also fished this, and a few other people went to Europe, I think Spain, and Mike Earls and some other people. Is that Earls? Some Earls. The guy that does crazy stuff up on the Great Lakes. They went over to Europe, and this week it was down in Mexico, so at the Pan American part. So, yeah, here we go. So we'll go ahead and bring them in. We have Jamie Broad and Cody Milton, both fished the event. How y'all doing?
Oh, doing well.
So what's it actually called? The Pan American Games?
Yeah, the Pan Am Games.
Pan Am Games. There you go.
The one that Chuck and Mike and EJ fished, that was like the World Championships.
Yeah, that was a little different.
Yeah. I think it was in
What? Where at?
It was in Portugal.
Portugal. There you go. Portugal, Spain, same place, right?
Yeah, probably.
It's over there somewhere.
Yeah, Portugal has a good one. That's about all I know.
Same general area.
All right. So, yeah. So, I guess go ahead and just kind of tell us more about the event. Like, how do you? Did somebody just give you a call? Hey, you want to come fish the Pan Am Games? How does all that work?
And how long's it been going on? Also,
Yeah.
So we had our first one in 2018. It was on Center Hill in Tennessee. There was one scheduled for 2020, which was that COVID year, and then it got pushed back that year. It got pushed back 2021 again for COVID. It got pushed back again because of border security. So it got pushed back like 4 times to the point where people had kind of forgot about it and didn't realize anything that was still going on with it. But no, it's essentially the same. It's like the U.S. Bass. It's kind of the same thing you see like Scott Martin and David Dudley and those guys doing. It's kind of like it's their first step of trying to get kayak fishing into the Olympics is essentially what it's for.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's eventually what we're working for. The way it's working, I mean, with the USA Anglers Federation, I mean, the way it's looking, it will be a Olympic event eventually. We're just trying to figure out how close it's going to be. I mean, a few years out, obviously, but it's getting there.
And we haven't said it, but congrats to getting Angler of the Year, double Angler of the Year.
Nope.
Oh, we lost Cody. Yeah, Cody did very well this year. I was very proud of him. Cody's my wife and all my kids. Cody's been coming to my house for years. So to see him win both this year was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, congrats, Cody.
I mean, yeah, Cody's always been consistent, and this year it just really all worked out for him to double up. That's pretty insane. So tell us how, for the folks listening, because I'm sure, kind of like Cody said, with everything getting pushed back so many times, probably nobody listening to this even knew this was going on until they started seeing everybody's pictures. So how did y'all get involved? How did they pick the team? All that stuff. Is there qualifying events going up to it, or?
So in 2018, it was like a selected team, and then 2019 they had planned to have a U.S. Open where they were going to qualify. It's a 9-person team, right? Is that right, Jay? It's a 9-person team.
Yeah, 9-person team.
How many you can have for each country? So they were going to qualify like 6 people, I believe, at a U.S. Open. Mm-hmm. That they ended up having to cancel that again at Center Hill. So they just selected the team again, kind of like they did the first year, just to, I don't know, kind of try to get some traction for the event and hopefully turn it into something like the U.S. Open that they have in Arizona and Lake Mead and those lakes. And yeah, I mean, and it's kind of different too because it is part of the Pan Am stuff.
Cool. Is there any talks of doing a big open qualifying thing from moving forward, since at the moment the world's kind of moving normal?
Yeah, no, I mean that was originally the plan, so I would expect them to see maybe something like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, there's going to be something in the works for the next one. We've got Tennessee. What is it, Cody? Coming up in June for Worlds.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah, cool.
I need to bring it to Alabama, but Tennessee's close. I guess they'll give it to them.
Oh, I want to come to Texas. Bring it to Texas. Let's centralize it a little bit.
There you go.
He pretty much lives.
I don't want to fish up a river.
My man.
Yes. So,
well, tell us Tell us about. I mean, I know this was more than just a fishing tournament. I mean, this is one hell of a trip to go fishing. So, just kind of story time, and y'all just tell us about the journey and the trip and the fishing and all the fun stuff. I feel like the fishing's probably the most boring part of this story.
Oh, you have no idea where this story is about to go.
Yeah, where was it now? Like, what? I know it's in Mexico, but where in Mexico?
We were an hour and a half southeast of Monterey.
Yeah.
So a lot of us got the call last minute. I got the call to be the captain of the team like 3 weeks prior. So, I mean, none of us really figured that this was going to happen because it had been postponed 6 times. So we all started getting phone calls of this. We were going to make it happen. So everybody started to get, okay, Cody got called. I got called. Scotch was actually the last person, but Guillermo, Christine, Eric, a few people, and we started trying to get it put together. But last minute, I mean, once we really thought everything was coming together, Cody comes to my house. We rolled together down to Mexico. He put all this stuff in my truck. All the guys from the East Coast, Mike Elsey, he was also a last minute angler. He got called on Friday, and we were trying to figure out how to make it work. And driving into Mexico, you have to have special permits, special insurance. It was pretty hectic. So we were scrambling last minute. But then once we thought everything had worked out, Cody, then what happened?
Somehow, for whatever reason, I never really walk anywhere. I usually run. Whether I'm getting out of the gas station to go to McDonald's, I usually run the gas station. I usually run there. So I got out of the car. It was a small car. There was a small truck. I had a small space in Jamie's truck, and I wasn't familiar with it. I got out of the car for the second time and somehow lost my wallet that I'd literally had for 2 days. That I had lost
2 hours into the event, like heading that way.
The worst part was I lost my wallet on Thanksgiving doing like a 4-mile turkey trot race at like 6 a.m. on Thanksgiving Day. Somehow it was like a downpour the whole day. So it was like lost my wallet, got one the next day, left, lost it the next day. Got a new one today. We're back in real life today. So I don't know. It was odd, but
Oh, it was bad. Thank God he had his passport. And it was locked in my console.
Yeah. Everything always works out.
Going to have to go old school and get like a chain wallet.
Yeah, something.
Bring back the 90s.
Trying the phone. I'm trying the phone wallet next. That was my Amazon order today. So
there you go.
We'll see how that goes. I don't lose my phone typically as much, so
were you like freaking out going to? I mean, you have your passport, which is better than an ID in most situations. But were you like, I don't know. I'd still be kind of nervous about going into another country without like any other form of identification
or any money, right?
That too.
Didn't have any money. No, I had Jamie.
Yeah. Well, he was covered on cash. But I even had problems getting over the border because we were all told like horror stories of because we had to go in 60 miles into the border. So we were told that like fish finders, motors, batteries, anything of any value, we had to have all these documentation for. And we scrambled and got it last minute. And even with my truck, I have a 2018 Chevy half-ton. My registration said it was 8,000 pounds. They would not let my vehicle into the border past 30 miles. So we had to pull all of mine and Cody's equipment from my truck to our guide's truck. My truck got left in Reynosa for 3 days. And the sketchiest neighborhood ever. I just dumped it off. It was either we go fish or we go home. So we took the gamble and left my truck in Reynosa.
Yep.
and threw all our stuff into another guy. Well, pretty much everybody's. Cody's was split between Russ's, Eric's, and Chewy's.
I had all my things were in 3 to 4 vehicles.
Yeah. Mine was in 2.
Why would your truck was too heavy?
Well, my registration was wrong. I had a 1500, just a half ton Chevy, and it said it was 8,000 pounds on the registration, and I guess that was wrong. I don't know. And I didn't have the sticker on my door frame that would
shows gross vehicle weight.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let me across the. I could make it 30 miles in, and that was it. So we just dumped everything over and made it work.
Crazy.
I looked at Cody. It was like, well, I was like, he's like, what are you gonna do? It's like, I'm leaving my truck here. He goes, are you sure? It's like, we're fishing.
Yeah, hell yeah! I'm calling my insurance company. I'm upping the coverage on my truck.
That's what insurance is for.
Yeah, I'm getting a new vehicle out of this.
I figured it was his decision. I was like, if you trust the guy, that was the one thing I said.
No, Cody was not that excited about it. He's like, no, I don't know if we should do this. That dude's sketchy as hell. Just admit it. He's like, that dude's sketchy. He's like, no, we don't need to do this. It's like, well, I mean, we're here. It's too late. We're 12 hours in, so let's just leave it.
Who was sketchy? The guy?
Everything about it.
Like when you go into Reynosa, I mean, your vehicles are just surrounded by people. Like it's another world. It's kind of
strange. It was definitely interesting.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
Y'all should have vlogged all of this.
Should know because we lost Eric, we lost Stu, so Eric Siddiqui's running around Reynosa. We don't know where he's at. He got lost. Josh Stewart got lost for 45 minutes because we're trying to roll 8 vehicles deep through the middle of Reynosa, and our guide was doing 85 miles an hour the whole time. So
on some bad roads, huh?
Spread out all over Reynosa.
I feel like Stewart sticks out though. I feel like he'd be easy to find.
It definitely did. We're standing there. We're in segregated spots, just waiting. It's like, okay, let's find everybody. Make sure, let's get them here, and then we'll get down there. So it was pretty hectic the first few hours. I'll give it that.
So what's the name of the lake?
El Chio, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. El Cachillo.
El Cachillo.
Yeah. So it's the one I had up there.
Yeah, it was.
It's an hour and a half southeast of Monterey. Phenomenal lake. It really is.
There you go.
That's it. That's the monster.
Yep.
There was a 15-pounder caught the last day we were there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's good. There was only one launch we could use, and everything was an hour away.
Yeah.
So any spot you wanted to fish was, for the most part, an hour away.
It was 42 acres, and they had dropped the lake 20% in the last 2 weeks.
Yep.
So give us the laydown of what kind of lake it is,
And it was like your typical Amish. It was, I guess it was
Amish falcon, sugar.
Falcon. Wasn't any grass. It was, you were pretty much either catching fish on steep banks where they were kind of up shallow, or they were suspended off some offshore stuff. And sometimes they would get up on some shallow spots and feed offshore, but for the most part, they were pulled off, kind of suspended off of stuff. I think because the water was dropping so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, it was an amazing bite. I mean, I think everyone kind of got, one good one, but wasn't great.
How much time did y'all have to practice? Did y'all have a couple of days?
5 hours.
Oh.
We just kind of ran as much as we could and just kind of went from there.
Yeah, it was a scramble.
Yep.
So how many teams was it? Just the 2?
No, we had 3 teams of 3 people.
Oh, okay.
So we had on the number one team, we had Guillermo, Christine, and Matt Scotch. Then we had Cody, Josh Stewart, and
Russ.
Russ was on the second team. Then me, Mike Elsey, and Eric Siddiqui were on team 3.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was a solid setup. I picked out the teams the day before we left. I figured out I fished with everybody for years. That was the best, personality, and everybody fishes the same. I figured it was the best way to set it up.
And what other countries were there? Just Mexico?
Mexico, Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Okay. Wow.
I thought it was just
went a long way, huh?
Canada ended up backing out. Venezuela and a couple other ones backed out. It didn't get the turnout.
Trust Canadians.
Well, it got canceled 6 times.
Like the first 2018, I want to say 11 or 12 countries. There were it was a lot different.
In Tennessee it was 15.
A lot easier. 15. Yeah, it was different. It was a lot different. A lot more people. Way more countries. But I mean, it's a lot easier to travel to the United States too, I assume.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, it is. You just walk across the border.
It seems like it.
So is it a 1-day tournament, multi-day?
2-day.
2-day.
2-day. We would. It was weird because, most of us are used to launching at least 30 minutes prior to first cast, but with this one, it was 7 o'clock on the water and first cast. So we were scrambling. So we lost time right off the bat.
It was only one launch, you said, right?
That's it.
So how far was everybody going?
At least most of it a mile.
Yeah, several miles. I think.
Yeah.
Josh and Guillermo probably stayed the closest and did the best. So
they really did.
We could have hung by the ramp.
I would have felt a lot better about that.
Yeah.
So, did y'all take y'all's boats, or was it kind of like when they do Worlds and the boats are already there?
I'm pretty sure. I thought they had Jackson's. Like the year prior, they had. If you didn't have a kayak, Jackson provided boats for people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all took our own this year.
We did, yeah.
Did the other countries, they pretty I don't want to say up to par, ours is standard, but everybody kind of running the same style setups and stuff like that. Hobie's, Jackson's, electronics, live scope, or are they doing it a little different?
I don't know if any of them had live scope.
No, none of them did.
Yeah, I want to say really honestly, I really think only a few of them had graphs. There was one Hobie, 2 guys paddling. Most of them had what was that pedal drive they were using? I think it was a Jackson, and maybe there were some Titans. It was kind of a mixed bag as far as kayaks, but no.
Yeah, Alex had a Hobie. There was Ronaldo had a native.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think for the most part, everybody was paddle driven, and there wasn't a whole lot of electronics. So coming from our side of it, at the end of it, we kind of felt bad because we did. Compared to what the majority of the other anglers came in at, we had, we looked like Bass Pro Shop rolling around out there.
Right.
But I tell you what, there was one girl that the angler that Christine gave her boat to, her last name, I don't know if it's her last name or her first name is Jamie. That's all I remember. Super nice lady. She was a stick, and she paddled and without any electronics, and she came in 4th.
Yeah. Wow.
Love it.
Oh, she was a hammer.
And Christine gave her her boat?
Yeah.
Yep.
Heck yeah, that's a nice gesture.
Christine gave her the boat, her 10-inch Garmin, her live scope, and then I hooked her up with Dakota batteries to get her lined out, and amazing angler.
She's going to use it to beat y'all next time you come down there.
Oh, I guarantee you she will.
That's awesome.
She couldn't see any grass. She just guessed it. And she had an 8-pounder the first day, was it, Cody?
She did. Yeah, it was like, what, a 23?
Something like that. And then she had a 5 or 6 the second day.
Yep.
The only thing that hurt her, she only had 2 fish on the second day, and she still ended up in 4th.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Oh, she was solid.
Mm-hmm.
But if you got an extra live scope hanging around, Christine, holler at me.
I mean, I don't have to take it from Christine, you know, any of that crew, you know.
I'm wanting one.
I'm poor.
Yeah, it was an amazing trip. We went down. I mean, at the last day, after Christine gave her boat over, we gave the batteries. We were giving baits out to young anglers from the area. We were giving rods out. Siddiqui was giving rods out. It was I guess the easiest way to put it, I guess we're kind of spoiled at what we do up here and what we're able to get our hands on. So to be able to give people down there, stuff that they've never seen. I gave a kid 2 brand new jackhammers and he didn't even know what they were. But
I wish I did.
His Instagram is solid.
Body frogs were like, because there's some lakes down south that have a bunch of grass, and I think Matthew gave the guy like 6 frogs because they didn't have any down there, but like they knew that it was, like a super good pattern down there.
They didn't even know what rod to throw it on or what line to throw it on, so we hooked them up.
I see a huge window to get some like real sponsorship into this and like help get these folks some gear. You know, like, I don't know. I think it'd look good on some of the brands to sponsor it anyway. You know,
it would. I mean, the response that we received, and Cody will admit this. I mean, we walked into it not knowing anybody, but by the time the 3 days was over that we spent with these anglers from all over Mexico, Costa Rica, I mean, we were family. I mean, we could barely speak the same language. We had Guillermo that was translating. We had another guy that was translating. And then we had one guy that was kind of part-time. But we made it work. And it was so strange to not speak any English, but fishing. You could tell them how to throw a bait. You could tell them what line to use, what size rod to use, what action rod to use. It was pretty amazing. And you didn't have to really say anything.
Well, and in all the conversations that weren't about fishing, as long as there's tequila involved, it all makes sense to each party anyway. That's like, I'm probably more interested in that. How was the food and the tequila?
Holy Jesus. Cody, how was the tequila?
The food, the tequila, there was tequila. There was a lot of tacos. There was a lot of tacos at all 3 meals, really.
Tacos and tamales.
It wasn't until the 3rd day that we had anything other than tacos, actually.
No. No tamales, but tequila and tacos is definitely the number one thing. And
I've always enjoyed it the times I've been down there. The food always seems real fresh.
It was, yeah.
And Cody doesn't drink tequila.
Not really.
He does not drink it, but he drank it on this one.
I tried it.
Yeah,
oh, you lie.
That's probably my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bottles under our beds. But we were responsible. Trip. We were asleep by like 9:30 for the most part. At least me and Cody were. We slept next to each other. We were in the same room with Matt Scott. So we partied early, got to bed early, and then woke up early, and we were good.
Sounds like the old responsible men of the trip. And the other 6 are out living it up probably.
No, there was 2. Yeah. for the most part, 7 of us were on the same scale. There was 2 that were not, but I will not name any.
You don't have to. I could probably tell you.
All right. Well, you gotta tell us the 2 then.
Nah, don't blast them like that.
No. People will know. But it's just how it is. And that's what I tried to explain to a couple of people. I mean, I've traveled with Cody and Christine and Guillermo and everybody for years. And it's funny over everything. It's like nobody's ever changed. It's like this is just how it is. So you know what you're going into before it starts. So
that's kind of how our annual paddle and fin get together is on Del Hollow. We already know who's going to act the fool, who's not getting up and going out in the morning, who's chugging a bottle of Jim Beam. Hats off, Milford. We miss you.
No, we don't.
Nah. Well, that's cool. That sounds like it was an awesome trip. Well, kind of tell us about y'all's fishing days down there during the tournament, since y'all only got, like 5 hours of practice. Cody, if you want to break down your days.
I went to the dam. I pre-fished with Matthew the 5 hours we got. Didn't really catch. I don't think I caught anything over like 17 and a half inches, but caught a lot of fish off of an island and off both sides of it, like the kind of the side that didn't really run off very far, and also caught a lot off the really long sloping side that really ran out for like almost a quarter of a mile, and really caught him down just about the whole quarter of a mile. But other than that, I think I only caught fish off like one other point that was way up near the dam. I caught some on a Carolina rig, but no, for me it was pretty much just a Carolina rig and a bait, a square bill, and a 3/4 ounce spinnerbait.
Sweet.
You throw a 3/4 ounce spinnerbait a lot, huh?
I do, yeah. It's a poor man's A rig when they don't allow you to throw an A rig.
Yeah, we were not allowed to use an A rig. That was one of the first questions we had.
Yeah, we would have destroyed them with an Alabama rig. I mean, those were suspended off, and they were actually stacked up good too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you poked them with an Alabama rig.
Yeah,
I walked into
what spinnerbait you use?
I was throwing it. Yeah.
I don't have the 3/4. I throw a bunch of the 1 ounce ones, but I love that spinnerbait.
It's a good one.
Which one? I'm sorry.
Accent lures.
Is that like this? Is there a certain one like the Slim Shady or
River Special?
Yeah, River Special is it. I'm the same way. Scotch is the same way. Yeah, there's a bunch of it. I mean, that's I've only thrown really that spinnerbait for the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
After I saw Jacob Wheeler whack him 1 year with it, that's when I picked it up.
Yeah.
And I love it. I need to get the 3/4 because I usually throw a small spinnerbait or just a giant spinnerbait. I've never really dabbled in the in-between range. I just like my whole mind's of like I'll just speed up the 1 ounce if I have to. But they're really good, Dan. If you hadn't checked them out, you should get a couple of them.
I have some of the Spring Ding, the Colorado, Indiana ones with the kicker blade, but I've never. That's the only one of the accents I've ever thrown.
This is the great thing about an accent with Brent. You call the number, and he'll answer. And if you want special blades or special colors, he'll make it, and you'll have them in a week.
Wow!
So I've heard nothing but good stuff about those guys.
Yeah, they're money.
Their buzz baits are pretty.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, it's the only buzz bait I throw.
Man, I love their buzz baits.
You throw the finesse or the full size?
Both.
I have both in mine. I keep both.
I would probably say 80% of the time the finesse gets it done though for some reason. But my finesse ones are like all but worn out. I've had to sharpen the hooks a few times, but I just think it's not really the size. I think that sound is just right on them. Like I've got some new ones and I don't even want to get them out of the box because I know they won't work and then I'll get mad. Like they haven't been beat off enough walls and trees and fish and
those hooks do really sharpen really well.
Yeah, they really do. I hate sharpening hooks. It's never normally for me. If the hook dulls out, I just throw it away, buy a new one. And Drew Gregory talked me into sharpening hooks.
Oh
We
yeah.
were talking about it, and that one does sharpen up pretty quick.
Oh, it only takes a second.
What if that's the river special is the only one that you throw? Do you throw different blade combinations or just willow?
Oh yeah. No, I throw all different blades. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, most of the ones, a lot of the ones I throw, I'd say half the ones I throw aren't stock ones. Yeah.
Well, this weekend, I mean, we were throwing. I mean, 3 different ones really. I mean, Cody went to the double willow gold, chartreuse and white. Me and Scotch were throwing chartreuse and silver, but we were throwing the threadfin shad color. It was white yellow with a little bit of brown in it. It was also my favorite buzz bait. But
Yeah,
I mean,
that's good.
then I switched over to straight chartreuse and white. But I never went to the double gold. Cody was the only one who went to the double gold willow, and he did really well. I mean, he caught a stud that second day.
Yeah.
I mean, I throw a spinnerbait. I've never have. I'm a little bit OCD with my tackle. Like everything has, like I have to know. I don't have anything in my box that I don't know exactly when I'll throw it. Exactly when that color combination is exactly what I want to go to. I've just never been able to figure out a system for spinnerbaits. I mean, I have some. It just always like you kind of know what you're doing. Muddy. Things like that. But I've never had like a exact science of how you know what I'm saying, from a system for my spinnerbaits. I've never been able to figure that out for a kayak unless you're going to carry like 30 spinnerbaits,
See, I'm kind of the same way. I'll run different sizes, but I basically only run 2 styles. They're either, 3, all gold, like Cody's throw, all silver, or one of each, but always willows. Colorado blades used to be big in my arsenal, and I don't ever throw them anymore. I've got some of them that have the small Colorado and the big willow of the same brand, but I don't ever use them anymore. And it's like I only pull that one out for muddy water because the Colorado blades, that like whatever that orange or red that they put on those. But I don't really have a system either. It's just like one of these will work. I always know it. Like they just always seem to work.
Cody, explain it.
Classes in session.
You got this. Explain the science.
I probably carry 50 spinnerbaits. I would say more times than.
Well, there you go.
If not,
That's how you have a system. You carry them all.
The biggest thing too is like also like one of the bigger bags I carry is actually just blades too. Because it's really probably only takes 3 or 4 minutes to make any spinnerbait you want to make in all reality. And more times than not, you get somewhere and you don't actually have what you want to do. You're usually kind of spinning up your own spinnerbait. Like Rayburn, I think I was throwing like homemade spinnerbaits the whole time this year, or at Santee Cooper, just because it wasn't what we expected. The water had got so muddy, so we're like, making like putting turtle blades on them, things like that. But no, I mean, I guess the simplest way to put it is like, generally speaking, the willows are the flattest. They're, they got the least amount of drag. They're generally known as a numbers spinnerbait. Any double willow spinnerbait's thought of as like a numbers thing. Anything with more drag is thought of as like a bigger fish spinnerbait. Like a single Colorado spinnerbait in reality should catch the biggest fish. It's like puts off the most thump, moves the most water. But I mean, that's kind of like, that's going back a ways too. I mean, that's kind of like some Rick Clunn stuff from the 80s, really. I mean, double Colorado spinnerbaits, people don't really throw them anymore, but they really are pretty remarkable.
Turtle blades.
Yeah, turtle blades. Or Oklahoma blades. I mean, there's different names for a lot of the same blades. But I mean, there's some they don't even make anymore, like a Han blade. Like people don't even probably know what a Han blade is anymore.
I don't know what that one is. I knew the other one.
And it's pretty much like a flattened Colorado with a flattened willow that's welded together, and it's a straight blade. It's like unbelievable for smallmouth up north. But no, I mean spinnerbaits are crazy. I throw them all, like, just equally. Like, and I probably, if I'm throwing a spinnerbait, I'm probably changing spinnerbaits, 3 to 4 times every 30 minutes.
Yeah, and Cody has cost me more money in baits over the last 3 years since I've known than any other angler in the series right now. Because he's taught me a lot, especially on spinnerbaits. Jesus, I've tripled what I usually carry.
You'd have a lot of spinnerbaits. It's my favorite lure.
I'd love to know how much your gear load outweighs when you go out on the water.
Who, Cody's?
Yeah.
About $15. He doesn't carry a whole lot, really.
Really? So you keep them with you, but not on you?
Usually.
Okay, I thought you meant you're taking 50 out with you.
No, I probably only take probably 20 with me. I kind of I have 3 stages of storage. There's like a storage that when I go practicing, there's I have a certain absolutely everything, and then there's if it's a better blade bite than expected, I'll have it's to the certain style, and also the bulk pack of things in the van. So I have 3 stages of tackle kind of that I'll go through.
That's pretty cool. Man has a system. I like it.
Didn't you say I think one of you won KBF Angler of the Year in 2018? You said that your number one bait was a spoon, right?
Butter spoon.
Yeah, that was great.
So do you only throw stuff has metal? Do you have any plastics at all?
No, not really. I have.
No, he really doesn't.
Really?
Yeah,
he doesn't. No.
Other than flipping, that's pretty much it. I'll throw a swimming worm some, and that's about it. Swimming worm.
Something I took from Cody the first time we
talked. The big spoons.
Yeah. Well, that was when everybody was throwing in the bass boat world was throwing. I think that was the year Zaldane.
It was pre. I think that.
Yeah, it was before.
Was it?
That.
Yeah.
I remember a year that Zaldane didn't figure it out to the last 10 minutes of the tournament, and then was just bombing it off the back of the boat and just busting them.
Yeah. In 2008, I first started throwing a spoon in 2008 on Lake Fork. If y'all remember Ultimate Match Fishing, that was the year that Kelly Jordan caught all those fish out in front of Big Sandy. And he brought that from Lake Fork. They make it right in front of Little Mustang. And yeah, that spoon, it's actually there's a few spoons that were kind of made at the same time. That sexy spoon was actually being designed in Arkansas at the same time on a lake that I caught a bit. But yeah, it's a good lure.
I've only thrown big flutters one time. I have tons of confidence in the old school little War Eagle ones. I love those things. And they're great to throw at people that get too close, man. It's nice and heavy. But you talking about Dan, about him only throwing, metal. I'll never forget, most folks when they talk about spawn fishing and fishing beds, guys are flipping plastics. And I'll never forget the first time I talked to Cody on the podcast. He was talking about he'd find one bed down and you just kept burning buzz baits over it, just over and over and over again. I went out and tried that. For sure it worked. And I was I would have literally never have thought of that.
Oh no, that's my go-to.
It's money. It really is.
That is definitely where it's at.
Now I'm really even more curious about this. What other, if you're not throwing plastics, what other baits are you throwing, man?
Usually I'll get it done with the 4 things, like a spinner bait, a flipping jig, or a buzz bait. That's pretty much all your water columns, for the most
part. Jerk baits every now and then.
I think jerk bait to a lot of this year too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, you kind of broke up with one of them. It was
no. So I just as long as you can cover all. You have 3 water columns. I usually throw a buzz bait or a frog or a spinner bait or a jerk bait, and mainly a flipping jig or a biffle bug, which is the fastest modern presentation you could throw.
Yes.
So,
Yes, the
If it's a
biffle
net
bug.
bite, Cody's not going to catch it.
I think the biffle bug is one bait that a lot of people should really look at. Cody got me into it a few years ago, and it produces fish. It really does.
All right. So what bait are you actually throwing, a biffle bug, or are you throwing worms, or
No, biffle bug.
Yeah, well,
an actual biffle bug?
Yeah, I actually this is the first year I've kind of started throwing a different one a little bit, but I made my own hard head the last 2 years. I started to throw it on a straight shank instead of on an extra wide gap, and it's been tremendously different.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing
I
I've
saw a
never
video
liked
the other
about it.
day on Matt Steffen on YouTube, where he makes his own, and he puts a couple of split rings in between them, in between the head and the hook, because he said they get less leverage because it can move more, and his hookup ratio went up with that.
Did he have a straight shank?
A what?
Straight shank.
Did he have a straight shank hook on it?
No, I think they were still EWGs, but you know,
straight shank will have better hook.
who knows if that's what he's really putting on there, you know?
Yeah. True. No, I mean I've thrown a biffle bug or a hard head, whatever, which a swing head, rugby head, like about as much as a lot of people I know, and you lose a lot of fish. Things come up hard head, and I have lost very fish in the last 2.5 years on a swing head.
Yeah, I've almost completely got away from wide gap everything. If there's a way I can throw it with a straight shank, that's what I want. I used to like probably the only thing I still throw on a wide gap's a fluke, and I don't know why. I think it's just that little bit extra weight on that, but that's the only thing.
I usually a super line, just a round bend on a fluke. But it kind of gets the weight, but you kind of keep a little more of that.
I may try that. See if
Yamagata 3-aught, perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've been throwing pretty much all last year. I got into the big bite BFE, and on a 4-aught EWG ring hook, the one that Seth Fighter uses. Man, I really do really well with that.
Sounds,
but
sweet. I hadn't looked into that one. I need to check it out.
That combo, the BFE and the 4-aught EWG ring hook, that combo is like peanut butter and jelly.
I'll write that down.
I've seen EWG for years, but me and Dwayne Taft went out on Caddo one day, and we were throwing the same bait for 4 hours. I had probably 20 fish in the boat, and after 4 hours, he comes up to me and he goes, "We're throwing the same bait, same setup, same everything." He goes, "What are you doing different?" Because he kept missing fish. And he brought up his bait. I was like, "What hook are you throwing?" He's like, "EWG, 4-aught." I was like, "Whoa, there's your problem right there." I was throwing straight shank. He switched over from the EWG to a straight shank, and we were throwing a Lake Fork ring fry. And it's a smaller chunk bait. I mean, and he didn't miss a fish after he changed hooks.
Yeah.
Once he changed hooks, he didn't miss another one.
Straight shank's where it's at.
I got away from it a couple years ago.
Yeah. The thing though, it's like extra wide gaps and things. They're still like great for kids and people. Like you catch fish, thoroughly set the hook on an extra wide gap. But you'll never catch a fish if you don't set the hook on a straight shank. That makes sense.
Right.
Very good advice there, because it's very, very true, and it's something that probably gets overlooked. Well, Jamie, tell us about your fishing day out there in Mississippi.
Well, me and Mike Elsey, we teamed up. I think pretty much all of us kind of teamed up. Cody was fishing with Scotch. I was fishing with Mike Elsey. So pre-fishing, we went opposite directions. We went to fish a ledge off about 1.5 miles out, and it was stacked. And we found great fish the first day pre-fishing. We left them alone after caught a couple. We played around with it, and then it was weird. First day we went out, and our bite died. So we ended up I mean, with the big team event we had going on, we called Cody and Scotch. It was like, hey, our bite is not here. The fish are not on the ledge. The water's dropping. We couldn't figure out what's going on. So we ended up trucking a mile and a half over to where they were at. They rolled off of their ledge. I mean, it was a hump honestly, in the middle of the lake.
Yeah.
And pulled our limit out randomly, and it was tough. I mean, from square bills, crankbait, we were throwing some Texas rig, but I got all mine on deep diving crankbaits. Was it 10XD? I got one off of Spro, Double D's. I mean, we were catching up pretty much everything. And then day 3 rolls around, and it changes again. Because the bite that we had off that hump in the middle of the lake, I mean, Cody caught a 5.5. What?
Yeah.
10 minutes.
That last day.
Yeah, the last day you got one. I mean, shoot, you didn't make it halfway around that hump.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a good one, but the numbers weren't there. They disappeared. So me and Mike Elsey, we stayed there. We ground. I had 2. Elsey had 1. Cody, you rolled out with a limit at what, 9?
Yeah, pretty quick.
And Scotch had 1. And then we ended up rolling out to an island. So I went from 20 foot. I got one on 20 foot. I got one on 4 to 5 foot. And then I got one in 2 foot to round out my limit. So it was all over the board. We were scrambling, trying to figure out how to scrounge up a limit. Mike Elsey, he had 14 where we were on the little hump. We went to 2 foot of water. He got a 23.5, 8-pounder. And then he didn't have a limit. He went by the boat ramp where there was another hump and got a 12 with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, maybe less.
Yeah, it was not less. So we were literally all over the place, just trying to get a limit. And we got phone calls from Christine. Her bite died. I mean, we were trying to figure out something.
Holy cow.
I took that picture. That was massive.
Yeah.
That makes that trip worth it.
So
Jeez, that's a good one.
The tournament would have probably been a lot different, but since we were all on pedal drive, I mean, we were scrambling, just trying to figure out where they were staged, because the bites that we had over the previous days on day 3 were gone. But I mean, for the most part, we made it work. I got limit both days. Cody got limits both days. Elsie got limit both days. I mean, we, as a team, we came together, and that was, I guess, what for the most part was what it was all about.
Where,
Well, that's
where
awesome.
were y'all staying at? Was that like a decent place, or was it?
It was a resort.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, what, Cody? I guess the best way for us to explain it. I mean, we were in Mexico. We were there for fishing only.
Yeah.
For the most part. I mean, we were safe. I mean, there was drag races outside of our little compound every night. I mean, there was some crazy stuff going on. We didn't have to leave except for we went tacos at like 4:00 every day, and it was like the best tacos ever. But I mean, if you would have looked at it from U.S. standards, no one would have ever eaten there. But it was the best food ever.
I mean, that's the kind of places I look for. That's where the food's always better.
Phenomenal.
That's cool.
It was the overall experience. I can't wait to go back.
Do you know where they're going to have it next year?
Tennessee in June. Well, we got the Worlds in Tennessee in June. Then it'll go back to Portugal, And after that, I'm not sure. It may go back to Mexico.
That's cool.
I wish more countries would have come. As I know there was I guess a lot of people were saying that there were some countries that were scared to go, which, I mean, even coming from the U.S., it's kind, I mean, from our standpoint, it can be kind of sketchy from what we think. I mean, we hear cartels, we hear all kinds of stuff. And we were all kind of scared going over the border as well. But once we got there and we met everybody, it was good. We had a great experience. I would love to go back. But I think me and Cody are already trying to talk and a couple of people into going back for the buzzbait bite in March.
I do want to go.
Yeah, I want to go too.
Man, y'all need to get in touch with like a Japanese team. I think it'd be awesome to have a Japanese because, I mean, they have some of the best lure makers over there for reasons. I'd love to see America, Mexico, and Japan all smack down on one body of water. That'd be interesting. I don't even know if kayak fishing's big over there, though. I mean, I know fishing is. I'm sure kayak fishing is, but I haven't ever like really seen any of it over there.
I think it's pretty big. I don't think they can use outboards, can they?
No, they can't.
Yeah,
not in most places.
I think it's pretty. I know bank fishing's like huge there.
Mm-hmm.
What is
bank fishing?
Yeah,
they fish for those monster carp too. Well, that's awesome. So, like, anything to conclude on that? You know, great trips, slightly sketchy. Cody had a story like normal. He didn't fall off a cliff this time. His eyes are not black. He's doing good.
That's so funny you say that because we were like, okay, what's going to happen to Cody on this trip? Going into it. We all know we've traveled with him enough. It's like, okay, I'm driving, so he's not going to get stuck in the van. And it's like, okay, he's not going to go off a cliff. So we were trying to go down the list of what he can't have happen.
Y'all are going to have to make a checklist for him. Like,
yes, but it's Cody. That's just a trip.
This doesn't bother me like it bothers a lot of people, I don't think.
Oh, no, you just got to roll with it.
Dude.
No, I don't think it bothers anybody anymore. It's just comical. You never know what's going to happen.
Keep it loose.
I
love it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, going into it, I mean, we were all kind of questionable of what was going to happen. But once it came down to it, the camaraderie that we had once we got there with the other teams and with the way that we all interacted with each other with the very limited speech that we did have was pretty amazing. And
that's awesome.
We had a blast. I mean, everybody was super cool. We were trading jerseys, trading hats, doing autographs. I mean, everybody became equal over a weekend fishing the same water.
That's awesome.
And Christine was a rock star, but the rest of us, we were like just normal people.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was good.
Anything else you want to talk about it? I think we've hit all the fun stuff. I mean, we know that y'all came away with it. Anything else?
If we would have caught one more fish, if Siddiqui would have caught a fish, we would have had the bronze for Team 3 on day.
Just
the clean sweep.
Clean sweep it.
Yeah, I had to throw it in there. I've been harassing Siddiqui since we left.
Everybody got back okay, huh?
Yeah, it was an adventure. We left at what time yesterday, Cody?
9 o'clock or so.
I think it was like 8:30 when we actually left the resort. And then we got home at midnight last night.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Wow.
No, me and Cody got stopped by Buc-ee's, get beef jerky. We had a good time.
And the truck was all right.
Had time.
Yes.
Thing. Yeah.
Wasn't missing the wheels and tires.
No,
Nobody
no
pulled the engine out in the parking
everything
lot.
was intact.
Hell yeah. Good trip.
Cool.
Well, we appreciate y'all coming on. I was hoping y'all could make it. I didn't know if y'all were stuck in Mexico or, spending an extra week down there hitting some of the other lakes. But we appreciate y'all coming on to talk about it and kind of, let everybody else know about it, because I know that, and again, we've already touched on, I think, with all the times it's been canceled and delayed, a lot of folks just knew nothing about it, because I thought I remembered one before. I just didn't even hear about this one coming until when I was texting you, Cody, and you were like, "Hey, I'm leaving for Mexico tomorrow. Can we just talk next week?"
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a crazy trip because I think majority of the people were already set into it, but I got brought into it like a month before. Scotch was 3 days, and then Mike Elsey was 5 days prior to the event.
I definitely wish I could just get a phone call and be like, "Yeah, no, I'll be there. I only need 3 days. I'll be in Mexico. See y'all."
Oh, I called my bosses immediately. It was like, I'm sorry, I'm going to Mexico December 1st through the 5th. Y'all good? They're like, yep. Okay, you're good. Thank you. I wasn't even asking. It's like it wasn't an option.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah. So thanks for giving me the heads up.
Well, that's awesome. Well, congrats again, guys. I'm glad it was a memorable trip. Glad everybody got back safe, and glad y'all represented the American kayak fishing world very well. And I guess does that kind of close everybody's year out for the most part?
Yes, I don't think we have anything till with the 10 and 10 Invitational in Kissimmee in a while, right?
January.
Yeah.
No, Cody, we're fishing some big boat stuff here.
Oh yeah, I might do some Report big bass, some big boat stuff.
We're fishing some big boat stuff here.
Sweet.
Hey, I didn't know. I'm kind of curious about this Pickwick tournament. If you want to, a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's just I run the Alabama Bass Nation stuff like Steve-O does for Tennessee, and we don't do a series. I run the whole thing by myself right now. And I got with Steve and asked him what the deadline was, and he said January 31st. And with all of our clubs, and Alabama's a little different. You got a lot of old school kayak angling going on, and a lot of guys don't really like the Bassmaster thing, don't want another tournament series going on. So I skipped the series this year and figured, since the whole season's kind of dead in our state, none of the clubs are do anything after state in October. So we're just going to do it's a one day event, last chance qualifier for the Bassmaster Classic or Kayak Championship, whatever the hell they call it, on Chick, December 17th. Pickwick. Nobody, you don't have to be from Alabama to fish it. If you've paid your Bass Nation fees in another state, you just message me, show me the proof of that, or tell me who that tournament director was so I can confirm it with them. It's $50 if you already are a nation member. It's $80 if you're not. And we'll be using Bassmaster rules. That way everybody can kind of have an idea of what those rule sets are going into that championship. But yeah, if you hadn't made the qualifying, come on down. You can find it on Tourney X.
How many are y'all qualifying?
It's 10%, no fewer than 5. Like Dan said, there's 3 people registered now, but I've been talking to tons of people, everybody asking questions and details, and probably half the field is already a Bass Nation member that missed out. So I'll probably be adding a lot of people in manually. But if the field stays small, it's even better chance to get qualified. So
yeah. When do you have to sign up by?
I'm leaving it open till the night before. I usually put everybody on I'll put everybody on Tourney X that day. I usually don't do the Bassmaster roster till after, just because, again, with our state, we don't get the participation with it. It's huge in Tennessee and huge in Georgia now, and I think a lot of that is because Steve-O's the man. But I think this one will do a little better, and maybe going in the future, because just since they announced Steve as the head guy, I've had tons of people actually showing interest now. So
absolutely. I think everyone's excited.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
told
money.
Steve, I was like, the kayak fishing as a whole stands behind you, and he's like, I don't even know what to say to that, and I was like, I don't think you have to say anything. It's just the truth. I'm like,
Well, I may see you down there. We'll see.
yeah, I'll
Let's go.
bring it on.
I'm gonna
There's
take you and your
nothing else.
spinnerbait on.
All right.
Oh, he'll throw it down there, guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's gonna be raining. Bring them willow blades.
Yeah.
Well, all right, guys. Well, we won't keep you any longer. We appreciate it, and Cody, hopefully we see you out there. And Jamie, thanks again, and y'all have
No
a good
problem.
night, and we'll holler at y'all later.
Thanks.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Peace. Awesome. It makes me want to go to Mexico and fish, which I already wanted to. I used to watch all the I don't remember what theirs is called, but the boat tournaments that do the like Pan Am style event.
Mhm.
I've watched that a couple of times, and they go down in like I think it's like January or February, and they like spawn fish on some of those lakes, and it's like everybody catches like an 8+. I'd love to get down there, but there's that whole sketchy factor. Like
That show just made me want to buy a whole bunch of spinnerbaits. So the man doesn't throw plastic. I'm really just.
I knew he few. I didn't know it was that few. Like I didn't realize he was that set on like I can use 6 baits, cover 3 columns, and I don't need anything else. That's insane.
Yeah. Sorry, I broke up there, but that messed me up.
Yeah. It makes me look at all the tackle, all that tackle, and like, what are you doing, Jimmy? You don't know what the hell you're doing. I need to put that sign. I saw a post that came up today, and it was a guy that has a sticker on his steering wheel. And it says, don't buy any more fishing lures. If you can't catch them with the ones you have, you suck. I need that like all over my house on my keyboard. But I'm doing good. I hadn't bought. I tried to make a list the other day. There's stuff I want, but not. I don't need anything. Like there's some. I want to learn how to throw mag drafts. Never thrown them before. Yep. I'm not a big swim bait guy, but and it's not just Russ, man. A lot of my Tennessee guys go out there and whether they're throwing mag drafts or bull shads or whatever, man. I got to get into that game.
Yeah, I bought like swim baits and more spinner baits this year and chatterbaits. I've never been a big chatterbait guy.
I love chatterbaits.
I'll throw a spinnerbait 10-1 to a chatterbait, but so yeah, chatterbait's going to be gotta learn this year.
Because I always throw chatterbaits around like grass more often.
Yeah.
I've never I'm not one that like in my head they're not interchangeable for how I fish.
Yeah, me too.
I just throw them in 2 completely separate scenarios. Maybe I should, back before I knew what chatterbaits were, I used to throw spinnerbaits everywhere. And they caught fish. I always kept it real simple: white and chartreuse, solid white, or black. I like black spinnerbaits with black blades. I like black buzz baits with black blades. I don't know why. Yeah. Black with gold blades on buzz baits are nice. But that's insane. I will never be good enough to only use like 6 baits and catch donkeys and cash checks. That's just the sad truth of that. Well, you asking for any fishing stuff for Christmas? Since this is our last show before Christmas, you got high hopes for any cool fishing stuff?
A GoPro.
Sweet.
That's the big one. That's time to get the GoPro going. I've got a crappy YouTube channel. I've been running. I put a bunch of videos up, but I don't have anything on the water, so it's and I really want to be able to. Not sure if I broke up there, but I just want to be able to look at the video myself and kind of critique myself too. So GoPro, that's
what all my footage does.
Yeah.
Is it's like for me to go back and look on. I highly recommend I know they have the new GoPro 10. I highly recommend the 9. Like, I'm a firm believer in some of them. The older ones are good too. Like, if you look for used online, GoPro 5 blacks are still like $300, and it's because they are just beasts of. Because they were 4K back then, and you're never gonna. I'll tell you this, and this for anybody listening. you don't always have to worry about recording in 4K because 9 times out of 10 your computer can't handle the 4K upload anyway. Like, just go high frame rates in 1080, or if you have a better computer, high frame rates in 1440. But 4K is cool for short clips and stuff, but if you try to like record a video on it, your computer has got to be nice, or it's just, I mean, you're talking about 6-hour uploads plus for 5 minutes. Like, I have a really nice computer and 4K and it do not communicate well.
Yeah.
And but yeah, well, that'd be cool. I haven't actually asked for anything fishing this year. I like my mom normally
Just
gets
frisbees or discs.
Discs. I haven't even asked for any of that. Like, I'm switching back to like gun stuff a little bit. I got rid of a kayak and scored a couple new toys and went out and shot yesterday. And 10 years ago that was my hobby, and sadly I think I'm going to go back that way.
I have a Glock I want to sell, and I want to get the new Walther.
So I didn't shoot one, but I played with it at my buddy's brother's, the like head guy the big gun store up here, Larry's, and I got to play with that new Walther, and oh my god.
Yeah, the full size. What is it? The PDP or
yeah, PDP Pro steel frame is the fancy one. It was like $2,400.
Oh, right.
But that's like a tournament pistol, like the steel frame and all that. But
because I have a Walther PPS. That's my EDC. That's my concealed carry whenever I do. If it's the M1 where it doesn't have the regular mag release, it's the one on the trigger guard. I prefer that. Whenever I have it concealed, I feel like I'm not. I mean, we're getting into gun talk here, but I'm not going to hit the mag release button. So that's my carry pistol. And then, but I really love Walther. And I have another compact. I think it's I forget, whatever the small. Dude, I bought it and never used it. It's sitting in my house somewhere you can't find. But it's just the Glock compact. 9, whatever it is.
Glock 26.
Oh, 43? Is that
43 is a 40.
Oh, okay.
Glock 26 is a 9mm.
So that's what it is. 26.
That's what I just got. And
well, damn, man,
well, I mean, I didn't pay for it. I had zero money in the setup that I traded, and I came out on top with a couple of guns, a lot of ammo, optics. I've got a red dot for it. I got to go get the slide cut, but
I've been seeing all these like tactical, like like a Henry tactical 410. I think that'd be nice. I thought about 410 a lot for a long time for like my wife to have, keep it in the house.
I love a 410. Yeah. A good home defense gun for a lady. Look into the circuit, the Taurus circuit, or is it Taurus? Yeah, the Taurus circuit judge. It's
Judge is like a hand cannon, though, right?
Right.
She can't shoot that.
Well, no, the circuit judge is the gun basically in a wooden rifle stock, and it takes 3.5s, but with the same concept as the judge, so you can shoot 410, 45 long Colt, 45 ACP, buckshot, birdshot, slugs. It'll do all of it, and it's like, I mean, think of your standard 410 shotgun length. It's that. I mean, it looks like it's a kid's gun, and it's small enough you can put it beside you in your truck. You can put it next to a door, in a closet. Great gun.
Cool. Yeah.
That one's actually that, and you talking about the like tactical, like lever action style stuff. A Henry X in 4570 with all that stuff. Yeah, that ain't happening. My wife's not going to spend that much money on me on Christmas, and I wouldn't let her. But high on my wish list. Well, just a couple of tournaments real quick before we get out of here for the year. Bluegrass kayak anglers on Dale Hollow Lake, 47 anglers. First place Thompson Berry with 91 1/4. Second place Marcus Grubbs with 90 1/4. Third place Adam Reiser with 89 inches. The Tennessee Bass Nation event on Dale Hollow was also going on. There were 3 events actually. That was the same results for the Tennessee Bass Nation event. So that's the first Tennessee Bass Nation for the next year. The Central Tennessee Kayak Anglers also had an event going on during that. It was a 3-fish tournament. First place, Derek White with 56 1/4. Second place, Eric Miller with 54 3/4. And third place, again, Adam Reiser. So 3 third place on one lake for Adam this weekend. So congrats to him and congrats to all those guys. Next up was the second annual Bassmaster Bass Nation Championship for Louisiana in Caney Creek. 31 anglers, Brian Howell, first place, 89 inches. Second place, Clint Pippin with 85 3/4. And third place, Michael Cates with 72 3/4. Next up was the SAKF. It's in Texas. I'm only assuming like South Austin kayak fishing, maybe, or San Antonio kayak fishing. I have no idea. Choke Canyon, 27 anglers. First place, Jeremiah Smith with 90.5. Second place, Rolando Nandon with 84 3/4. Third place, Tyler Howell with 82 3/4. And only the top 5 caught limits. And then last but not least, the SoCal Kayak Anglers Toys for Tots event, 66 anglers. First place, Russell Peltier with 41 1/4. Second place, Aiden Bayless with 40 1/4. Third place, Ryan Moriarty with 39 3/4. And that is our last tournament coverage for the year. And we are out of here. And I cannot remember the date that we will be back. I can't remember what we agreed on. I think the 6th.
Yeah, 6th, 8th, something like that.
Yeah, so we'll see y'all the first week of January, most likely. First full week of January. I don't know. We may have to come up with something show-wise. I don't know if there'll be any events going on yet because the 10 and those events don't happen till the end of that month. So. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us this year. Thanks for supporting us and listening to the show and keeping up with all the paddle and fin shenanigans. We hope to see everybody come back and keep up with us after the New Year's, and hope to see a bunch of folks down at Del Hollow in April. Yeah, I think everybody. It's been fun year.
Yep.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody once again, and we will see y'all next year.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, peace.
Thanks for tuning in to another killer episode here on Paddle and Fin. Be sure to drop a 5-star rating, a thumbs up, or smash that subscribe button on any platform you're listening in on. Be sure to check us out on Waypoint TV, waypointtv.com. Make sure you sign up for the Fantasy Kayak Fishing League at paddleandfin.com/fantasy. You could support this show through Patreon, patreon.com/paddleandfin. Don't forget to check out the website, paddleandfin.com. Catch us on YouTube. If you got a question, comment, or want to see a future guest on the show, be sure to email us at paddleandfin@gmail.com. Shout out to our show supporters, Yak Gadget. You can check out all the fine kayak accessories at yakgadget.com. Pelican Professional. For all your cases, coolers, and lighting needs, go to pelican.com. Rocktown Adventures. Your Midwest premier paddle sports destination, go to rocktownadventures.com. Eastport Marina, the beautiful destination on Dale Hollow Lake. If you're looking for lodging, kayaks, kayak accessories, or anything fishing related on the beautiful Dale Hollow Lake, go to eastport.info. And Jigman